Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fat Jocks, another peek into the wild and wacky and weird world of sports with your hosts, Bruce Gray and Bryan Mackey. If you enjoy the podcast, you know what to do. Go over to Apple Podcasts. No Spotify, no Stitcher, no Google Play. We're on there, but if you're listening to those, get a job. All right? Go over to Apple Podcasts, 5-star review, 5-star rating, leave a review. Do all the good shit. If you got anything you need to say, say it to our face over at fatjockspod@gmail.com. Enough of this behind the back talk. Enough of texting me about Bryan and what he does on the podcast that you can't stand. Say it to our face on the email. Mr. Bryan Mackey, what do we talk about on this fantastic episode?
Folks, how are you? We got a great show coming up for you. We discuss football free agency. There's a lot of action going on right now, but mostly we talk about boxing, the upcoming heavyweight undisputed championship title fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. We say our rest in pieces to marvelous Marvin pieces? I don't want rest in peace. I'd rather you be in one piece.
One solid.
Rest in peace to marvelous Marvin Hagler. I discussed the Chocolatito Juan Estrada fight. It was the greatest fight of the year thus far. Folks, we don't end there. We get into the Iditarod Trail in Alaska, United States, North America. It's one of the most unbelievable dog races in the country, and you don't know anything about it. We do a deep dive into a few of the racers, the CV father-son combination, and our friend Lance Mackey. Is it Lance?
Lance Mackey.
And our friend Lance Mackey, soon to be a guest on the pod. All that and a whole lot more. I hope you folks enjoy it.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business. This fat son of a bitch. He's fat. Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. He's fat.
Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
He's fat.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I couldn't care less about the team struggling.
I have one last sip of my espresso, and then we can start the podcast. Is that good?
I'm going to smash 15 of those tiny cups over your head next time I see you.
What
do you think you bought?
What's your hang up on espresso?
It's just so European. I mean, everything about Europe is minimal. It's just the tiny cups. They don't give you ice with it. Like they look at you like you're insane when you're asking for ice.
Like an iced coffee or ice of any kind?
Any kind. They don't give you refills in the water. They give you these tiny, thick, like rocks glasses, and that's how they fill up the water. And they don't. It's just like it's just. I lived over there, and I suffered through tiny glasses of water and tiny coffees, and it just really gave me a newfound appreciation for the United States of America and how the big gulp and the
the big gulp.
Yeah, the big gulp is something that you'll never see over there. And
yeah, it's just funny. It's very funny to be like, I love America. I love the big gulp. Like just that's what you're like. You really have like a big fondness for not just a big soda, but specifically the 7-Eleven big gulp.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just something you'll never see over there. Like, and everybody acts like they're, like Europe is so much healthier than the United States. When you walk over there, I mean, dude, when you walk around in Germany or England, I mean, they're waddling just like we are. I mean, they have this. I don't know how they get so big though, because their food portions are too small. Their coffees are tiny. Their waters, everything they're eating is so fucking, their apartments are small. The fucking bathrooms are small. Dude, taking a shit. You don't understand how great it is to take a shit in the United States of America. If you got like restless legs like I do, you can go 45-degree angles right off the toilet with your knees. Plenty of space. It's no problem. You shit in a fucking like a little torture closet. I mean, that's why they call it the water closet. WC. You go, excuse me, where's the WC? Because they literally put you in a little closet, low flow. Your shit always goes above the water, so you have to like. It smells like you're shitting on the floor. I mean, the bathroom situation there is horrendous. The coffee and I guess that's why they give you little coffees and little portions, because they're like, if you have an American sized shit, I mean, it's like shit on the floor. There's like an ounce of water. There's like an espresso amount of water in the toilet. I can't stand that. I mean, I love that place, but I can't stand it either. This is a much.
Have you ever thought that maybe that's normal and that what we're doing is wrong?
What are you, French?
As you drink your big gulp coffee.
Hell yeah, folks. Hold up
Yeah.
your glass and look at mine. Who do you want to tell you sports opinions? Yeah. What Bruce is going to tell us about soccer? Get the hell out of here. He's going to be like, boy, Ronaldo, in age 34 is scoring more goals than, any other player in the history of football.
Dude, whatever. We have a good show today. I'll come right out and I'll fucking give you a look behind the curtain. I'm a little bit drowsy and just kind of overall scrambled because of the damn Pfizer vaccine, dude.
You got the Pfizer? Me too, dude.
But yeah, I heard this from the very large, shockingly gentle gay man who did my vaccine, that Moderna is bullshit.
Well, how does he know? You know what I mean?
Yeah. He said he tried both and he liked Pfizer better. No, he just said that more people are having shit reactions to Moderna.
I thought you were going JJ. I thought you were going Johnson & Johnson.
No, dude. No, I had a friend of mine got Johnson & Johnson like a week ago. I didn't even know it was out. It was like when you see somebody with like a brand new Supreme drop.
Right.
Like,
or like,
damn, when did the Neil Young Supreme shit come out? He's like, yeah, I fucking know. Like, legitimately, he's a dude that I know. His girlfriend's mom works at a clinic like 3 hours north of here, and they fucking drove up and got like some backdoor shit going. Dude, I fucking had a little bit of a meltdown the other day because it was so fucking hard to get up here, dude, the vaccine. And my girlfriend's sister had got it through like her work because the dude who owns her work had known a lady who managed the clinic that I ended up going to. And like, and then the other dude had to like fuck his way into it. And there was all these backdoor deals and shit, dude.
Did you
really bumming me out?
Were you qualified because of fatness?
Wow. No, I was not. No,
What do you mean? Wow. Did I just break the news to you that you're a big guy?
Yeah, excuse me. No, dude, honestly, well, I went there. We went there in the morning with my girlfriend's sister, just like we hung out in the car, and my girlfriend's sister was like, hey, there's 2 other people who want it. And they were like, no, we can't. And then it got around to like 4:30 that day. They closed at 5. My girlfriend was about to pass out, like take a nap. I don't know. She was on the edge of passing out, brother. She's fucking nodding off and shit. No, she was just about to take a nap, and I was like, let's just go down there and see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then, we went in there, dude, and ended up getting the last 2 of the day they were about to throw out.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's how I used to get donuts. You walk in the donut shop. You guys got anything you're going to throw out? They're like, they give you a fucking Santa Claus bag full of day olds.
Yeah, dude, day olds is a big bakery move. But then, dude, I don't know if you'll understand it, but you ever like with your day olds or with your something, when you're trying to finesse something a little bit and you're with a girl and she doesn't have the same finesse, so she almost blows it.
Yeah,
like, dude, that's how it was. Because we got called up because it was this big black woman who was running the whole thing. That was like, we walked in and she was like pointing at everyone. She's like, vaccine. And she pointed to us and I was like, trying. And she was like, trying. Yeah, trying. Okay, trying. I like that. And then I was like, all right. And I'm like looking at my girlfriend, I'm like, be cool. Just play it cool. And then they call us up to the window and they're like, you guys are here for the vaccine? I was like, yeah, someone said that we, could come down here. You guys sometimes have some extras. And she was like, oh, are you guys eligible right now? My girlfriend can't stand like finesse or lying or anything. So she jumps in and she's like, no, but our BMIs are like way up. Dude, and I was like, will you fucking stop?
No, but we're fucking fat for real.
Yeah, and she's not even fat, but it's like, how girls BMIs, whatever. But it's like her, she's like, no, like dove in front of me, was like, no, but look, we're pieces of shit.
Pinching her fucking arm.
Dude,
Pinch this shit.
Yeah, she's
Pinch
like
this.
She's pinching me on the stomach. She's like, look at him. Dude,
yeah.
It was.
Break out those pussy pliers where you check out the fat. Dude, I was a little bit nervous with you in the exact same situation. I was worried that you wouldn't be able to finesse when we used to sneak up to get front row seats at Dodgers games. Like,
no, I finessed, dude.
You were more than fine. Yeah.
See, that's what I come from a long line of, especially you, me and you do as well. But I think that's why this podcast works, dude. And that's why it worked us getting good seats at the Dodgers game, is because a lot of finesse involved.
Yeah, you just got to look somebody right in the eye and lie to them, just like,
yeah.
I love it.
I love a harmless lie more than anything.
Well, harmful lies are pretty damn juicy too.
Yeah. Whatnot.
Dude, I'm getting fucking hooked on prop bets right now. Today, if Chris Middleton hits 5 threes, if Chris Middleton hits 5 or more 3-pointers, the Milwaukee Bucks win and score more than 125 points. Dude, I'm making like
What, like $3 million?
Yeah,
off of $5 because that's not gonna happen.
It's happened 3 times this year. I looked it up. So those three things simultaneously in one game has happened 3 times this year. So I'm thinking that, what are the odds it doesn't happen again?
You know what's crazy is you could be a doctor if you just gave a fuck about anything other than being a scumbag. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you have it all. You have it all right there in front of you, and all of the stuff, all the tools you need to work with. But instead, you're like, dude, Chris Middleton, he's fucking. I need to get more into betting.
Also, if PJ Washington scores 20 or more points, and the Charlotte Hornets win, I got good odds on that one, and I think that's going to happen. I mean, yesterday I had Jason Tatum. I needed Tatum to hit 3 3-pointers, and I needed Kemba to get more than 5 assists, and I needed the Celtics to win they needed a cover, and all that happened, and I won like $90 on like a $5 bet.
Yeah, see, that's fun. See, I told you that. I don't know if it was on this podcast or just when we were talking on the phone. But man, I went on to Bovada just to check some shit out. That's the sports betting website. And that's where I found out they have the live blackjack. And I've had to like physically restrain myself from going to the computer and playing live blackjack like 3 times this week.
Yeah, dude. Bovada is where it's at.
Yeah, if PJ Ledugadao can dunk from half court, you're gonna win $400,000 on $3.
If anybody makes a time expiring full court 3-pointer, my kids go to college. Let's put it that way. If they don't, then they don't. Yeah, I got I won like 200 or 300 on FanDuel a couple days ago. Like I'm on a little hot streak right now. Okay, so let's get into
NFL free agency is popping off this week. I haven't gotten into it as much, but God, do I love free agency.
Dude, Jono Smith got a $50 million contract from the Patriots. This is a weird offseason because I am not used to the Patriots dropping all this cash, but they've spent probably, I mean, I don't know what's guaranteed, but I'm saying in just general contract money, they've promised around $200 million like in the last 3 days.
Yeah, this reminds me of, do you remember that NBA offseason a couple years ago where like all these dudes who had dribbled a basketball once were getting supermax contracts?
Yes, I do remember.
That's what this is reminding me of with like this Taysom Hill contract and like all these different this money being thrown around.
Right.
Weird.
Well, the only one that like really is egregious is the Dak Prescott because it's like all guaranteed. But did you look into the Taysom Hill contract? Which, by the way, first of all, let's just say Taysom Hill got a 4-year?
4-year, 140.
So he'll be 35.
35 a year.
He'll be 35 by the end of that contract. 140. He's not a quarterback. Like he started a couple games this year. He's a gadget player. And I'm wondering, my bet is that they're going to sign Jameis Winston too. And they're just going to keep, and then they'll just cut Taysom once he slows down. Cause he's 30, 31, 32 years old or whatever. And I mean, his whole thing is power and speed. And that, I mean, dude, he's almost Adrian Peterson's age. Like he's not going to hold on to that power and speed. And it's not like he could become a pocket quarterback out of nowhere. So
yeah, I was reading a little bit about the contract, and it kind of seems like none of it's guaranteed, and it's kind of a salary
incentive
cap.
Based.
Yeah, it's like a salary.
I mean, the
cap.
Saints invented that Ricky Williams contract. Like they invented the we'll give you $300 million, but it's like exactly like Bovada, where they're like, all right, Ricky, you need to run for 2,000 yards. Every step has to start with your left foot. You cannot hold the ball with 2 arms, and if we make the playoffs, you lose all your money.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, all right, Ricky, let's say you're rushing from the 1. You got to run back, touch the other end zone, and then come all the way back.
Like you have to do suicides.
Yeah. Pacers. You have to just do fucking.
Is that what? Is that your age? Is that what they call them now? Pacers.
Suicide. Pacers are where you run on. There's the beep, not just running back and forth where it's beep, and then you go and then you touch it again, back and forth, and it's a PE teacher thing, a fucking scumbag PE teachers where they just want to stand around because they're hungover all day. And
right. Oh yeah. Like you.
Yeah. I got it out for PE teachers, I guess. Is that if you motherfuckers out there, how about you go take a lap, huh?
Did they call them suicides when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, yeah, not in school sanctioned things though. By the time I got around to school sanctioned shit like that, it was they kind of had cleaned it up. Yeah, I think that I was like the last generation of Oklahoma drill. For
And I mean, I didn't do Oklahoma drills.
oh, I did Oklahoma drills, dude.
Yeah, that's Bakersfield, dude. Like,
Yeah, I was doing them. Yeah, I was doing it, but I always tried to be. We did the more of the double Oklahoma drill where there's the two guys blocking in the front and then the other guys run around. And I always volunteered to be the guy blocking because I was like, I don't want to get fucking.
Oh, that's like in Madden when you're trying to get the points up on your running back. I
Exactly,
fucking hated that shit.
Yeah, I would just sit in the front and be like, okay. Like,
What did they have you as a lineman?
I got into football too late, so I wasn't. All these other guys had grown pubes and stuff, and I was still watching SpongeBob.
You're built like a center though, because you're short and stout. So.
Yeah, but I probably could have been a center or a long snapper, but I just.
Dude, that's a great gig right there. A long snapper.
Well, I mean, the coach's son from my team when I played football was 2 years younger than us. Ended up going to Alabama for long snapping. I think he plays for the Chargers now.
Still long snapping?
Yeah. Is he out of the league? Let's see. Cole Mazza. What's he? He's a long snapper for the Chargers, dude. Easy money. 26 years old. Great gig.
You know who's the new short snapper for the Chargers? Corey Linsley, Green Bay's starting center for the last 6 years. He's now the highest paid center in all of football. And my father was pissed about that, and a lot of Packers fans are pissed. But Green Bay, if there's one thing they know how to do, it's draft offensive linemen. I mean, the way they got Elton Jenkins, who's a Pro Bowler in his rookie or second year, whatever he was last year. I mean, they know how to pick out linemen, so I'm not too worried about them being able to replace him.
Yeah. Yeah, do you think that with all this free agent like mashup crazy shit that's happening right now, are we going to see Deshaun Jackson move and Russell Wilson move, both of them, or do you think one or the other?
The rumor mill is going nuts on Russell Wilson to Chicago.
That's nonstop with the betting coming off the whatever.
Yeah, Vegas took. You can't bet on Russell Wilson going to Chicago anymore. Vegas took it off.
That makes the most sense. But if Russell Wilson leaves, is Deshaun Watson going to Seattle? Is that even something that people are talking about?
No,
that's going to be a big hole that needs to be filled, and Pete Carroll's going to have to fucking chew some gum and get somebody over there.
I'm guessing if Deshaun doesn't stay, which if I had to bet money, I would bet that he begrudgingly stays for a year. I'm guessing he would go to Miami. That's where I would guess, because Tua is not playing out. Fitzpatrick's
Why is everybody wanting to go to Miami?
Because Brian Flores is a badass coach. There's no state income tax, and the weather is amazing. And the girls are the hottest girls in the world. Like, there's a million reasons.
It basically has nothing to do with football. Pretty much, it almost has nothing to do with football whatsoever. Like, come over here, keep your money, get some pussy, meet this guy, meet this dude. There's a beach. It's like, that's what they're selling them on completely. Where in places like Green Bay, they're like, this is a great football city. And other places are like, dude, there is tons of pussy down here. It's like the pussy rush of 1849 happening right over here, dude.
Yeah, nobody goes to Green Bay for the pussy. I've been there. No. You go there for the sausage for sure.
Yeah, wasn't there was a big Jimmy G back to New England rumor that's kind of seemed to stop.
No, Jimmy G is starting for the 49ers next year. 49ers, this is their make or break year, because I mean they made it to a Super Bowl. I mean, this isn't a make or break year for just Jimmy. It's also a make or break year for their coach. What's his name? God, my brain is so fucking dead right now. Dude, I wonder.
Is it the vaccine that's killing your brain or what?
I'm not sure. Kyle Shanahan, Jesus Christ. Kyle Shanahan, coach of the 49ers. Boy wonder, him and Sean McVay both need to put up or shut up right now. They're coming. And Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, the whole NFC West right now. And actually, I would say every coach in the NFC West right now is on the hot seat. Pete Carroll, if he drives away Russell Wilson, if their beef makes Russell Wilson leave.
What is their beef? What is their beef? Because people keep saying there's a beef.
I don't think it's come out, but people are saying that there's definitely a rift in the locker room. It probably has something to do with, Russell Wilson being the most sacked quarterback since he got in the league. But, I mean, could you imagine Pete Carroll's in his 70s, if he drives away a franchise quarterback who could potentially have been there for another 10 years, who will keep you in contention every year no matter how shitty your team is. He's proven that. And then next year they come out and they're starting some dumbass and they lose, 11 games. They're going to get rid of him and try to go younger. Cliff Kingsbury, he's got J.J. Watt now, DeAndre Hopkins, Chandler Jones, Kyler Murray. He's got a decent backfield. We've got 3 okay running backs. Like, it's time for him to put up or shut up. They got Buda Baker. I mean,
Arizona's looking pretty sick.
Yeah, they've got a decent roster. And then you
Good
got
uniforms too.
The Rams have Matt Stafford, and they've got the #1 defense in the league. I mean, the NFC, and then you got Jimmy G coming off of, a really bad injury, and Kyle Shanahan with Super Bowl expectations for like 3 straight years. I mean, I think literally every single coach, that division rules. This is going to be a really exciting division next year. It's going to be, it's going to be the opposite of the NFC East, and potentially, somebody's going to come out of there looking great. But I think you're going to see. My guess is at least 2 coaches gone next year from the NFC West, which might. I mean, a lot of people are going to say I'm insane for saying that. But
yeah, I mean, Cliff Kingsbury is there. Cliff Kingsbury has a few more years to get that train roll. Not a few years to get it rolling, but unless they go like 0-16 this year, I think he's pretty safe. But I'm reading a thing right here that says apparently Russell Wilson is pissed off at Pete Carroll and his sons. Apparently both Pete Carroll's sons work for him.
Fuck you and your sons.
No, well, apparently both of his sons work for the Seahawks also, and Russell Wilson isn't a big fan.
But nobody's saying why, right? There's no details.
Just saying that apparently Russell Wilson's saying that his sons answer to no one. Pete Carroll and his sons answer to no one. Which
right.
Not really
sure
what that quite means.
I mean, but who does Russell Wilson have to answer to? I wonder.
God, brother. That has got to be the most boring beef ever. Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson in an argument.
Yeah, 2 of the most. Well, you never know. They might have that Sugar Ray Leonard, like that, like, really positive on camera smile, but like just pure evil behind the scenes.
Yeah, the baby from Roger Rabbit, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, I would imagine they're like, if they're like getting each other's face, they're like, hey, bro, I mean, you put a lot of effort, and I appreciate your effort, but I'm just not really vibing with your energy right now. It's probably something like that's probably kind of how they get at each other.
Pete Carroll gets fired. Where does he go? He goes back to college?
He probably takes a GM position somewhere, or he becomes like the athletic director of USC, or he takes a GM position somewhere.
He's an old man, dude.
He's the oldest coach in the NFL, I think
he's hot though. He's a good-looking guy.
He's
69.
Yeah, it used to be Tom Coughlin, and then he got fired. And I think Pete Carroll is 60. Yeah, he's 69 years old, and
Belichick is 68. Andy Reid 62. Nick Saban 69 also. Nick Saban and Pete Carroll, 2 good-looking dudes for their age.
I think Carroll would look good under any lights. I think Nick Saban. I think he might look like a monster in real life.
Yeah. Does Pete Carroll have an ear piercing? Oh no, that's his hair. I thought he had one ear pierced. I was like, okay.
I would imagine at some point Carroll had his ear pierced.
Yeah.
He was
Carroll
like,
does. Yeah, he's
the king of relating to his players.
Dude. That USC era for Pete Carroll was so sick. He must have just had the dopest life ever.
With like Matt Leinart and Mark
Bush. Who was the receiver? Dale Jarrett. No, not Dale Jarrett. Dwayne Jarrett. Dale Jarrett. Man, me and Pete just seeing eye to eye on everything, man. It's real good.
I'm fast as hell. Yeah, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Mark Sanchez, Carson Palmer.
I don't know, because Pete Carroll wasn't at USC for that long, dude. I think he was just there for that. Oh, wait, maybe I'm wrong. 94-14.
Jesus Christ.
He only won those 2 national championships, though.
I think
2001 to 2010. I don't know why I thought he was.
Yeah, he had Clay Matthews, dude.
Yeah, but they were they were really good that 2004, or that whole era. And then 2005 is whenever they lost to Texas, and then
Vince
they they just really didn't live up to the hype with your Mark Sanchez and your fucking. Who else came after Mark Sanchez?
Matt Leinart.
Matt Leinart was before Mark Sanchez.
Oh, I don't remember.
Matt Leinart was with the Reggie Bush and the Dwayne Jarrett team.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't remember, but what's his name? Sam Darnold is USC, right?
Yeah. USC's been.
The thing is, I mean, it's tough to be. You don't really get tested out west. There's just not a lot of good programs. I mean, you go through the SEC or the Big Ten or the ACC, you're going to play a lot of really good talent, but when you're playing fucking Washington State and shit, how do you get, USC? I mean, the
like that was that's kind of what USC's deal was, is they would get tested like twice a year, and they would always lose to like Oregon State on a missed field goal and shit.
Or Aaron Rodgers beating them with Cal. And they were number 1 in the country.
Yeah. So what's
with Marshawn Lynch? That was a cool team. Aaron Rodgers
was
and
Cal
Marshawn
number
Lynch.
1 in the country?
No, when USC was.
USC was. I see.
Yeah, but Aaron got Cal up to the top 5.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Greatest quarterback in the history of throwing the ball. Nothing close.
You're the biggest homer I know.
All right, maybe Brett Favre, but easily third Bart Starr. After that,
there's probably some guy you never even heard of in some other country that throws it even better.
Yeah, I mean, you go, the all-time greatest quarterbacks ever are Bart Starr, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers from 3 to 1. And then you get to your second-tier quarterbacks like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and then you get your third-tier. Vinny Testaverde's up there with, I mean, you got to appreciate his longevity. He had some crazy years with the Jets when he was old. Made an AFC championship game, dude. I love a good Guido quarterback.
Who's the guy? I'm a Joe Namath guy, dude, from the intro song. I want to kiss you, dude. Joe Namath,
pretty.
So boxing this week. There's the Anthony Joshua contract and Marvin Hagler.
There's a lot more than that. Let's start small. Last week, I want everybody. You know what's cool about Top Rank is it's really easy to go watch their fights. Everybody should go watch the Chocolatito Juan Estrada fight. They're tiny dudes. They're 5'6". They fight, I believe it was junior bantamweight, I believe was the weight class. I mean, it's tiny dudes.
See, I can't get into. It's just that's where
you got to see the fight, though, dude.
I can't get into it, dude.
It is 12 rounds of just slugging, and when they're both the same height, you can. I mean, it's the same way when you watch Rocky and you think Rocky's a heavyweight. When you realize, oh shit, he's like a fucking welterweight. He would be like, he's like 150. When you see two guys who are at the same height, looking at just slugging each other, you forget they're small, and so it's like you're watching a heavyweight fight, kind of. But they're like, dude. I'm telling you, this fight was unbelievable. It was a second one. They're probably going to have to do a third one, but it was 12 rounds of slaughter. And in the 12th round itself, if you're just going to watch one round of that fight, the Juan Estrada Chocolatito fight, watch the 12th round. They are just railing each other, dude. It is an old school slugfest. It was one of the best fights I've seen. It's probably the best fight I've seen all year, easily, because we're only in March. But like, it's one of the better fights I've seen in a long time. I encourage everybody to watch that. Now, the boxing world lost a legend, marvelous Marvin Hagler. You know that's his legal name.
No, I did not know that. But that's beautiful.
He went down to the city hall and got he legally changed his first name to Marvelous.
Had to go down to the hall of records, dude.
He felt so disrespected, and rightfully so, when he was fighting, that he made it so that reporters had to call him Marvelous. He changed his name to Marvelous because it's like, fuck you. You don't want to pay me my dues? I'm gonna change my name to some shit that sounds fantastic, like
that's
Marvelous.
Some real Trump shit.
That'd be dope if Trump changed his name to Marvelous Donald Trump.
Well, I went over down there, changed my name to Big Penis Donald Trump. So now every reporter must call me Big Penis.
I'm Big Dick Trump, dude.
Big Dick. I'm sorry, you said Donald. It's actually Big Dick. Big stuff.
So I think that Marvelous Marvin Hagler has some of the best fights, and they're all on YouTube because he was 66 years old, so all the fights are from the 70s.
Who was he fighting? What I'm not sure of the era.
So he's a part of what they call I forget what the terminology was, but they were the four kings of welterweights, middleweights. It was Sugar Ray Leonard, who may be the greatest boxer post Muhammad Ali. Possibly. He's up there with Floyd Mayweather. Fought way better competition than Mayweather. You got Sugar Ray Leonard. That was his main rival. They fought in amateur boxing. And Sugar Ray Leonard was always kind of in his head. He kind of like, I don't know if you ever see that movie Nixon, but how Nixon looks at the Kennedys, the way he was sweating during the debates. It's the same fucking thing. Like Marvelous Marvin, Sugar Ray was just in his head. Then you got Roberto Duran, Hand of Stone was his nickname. And then the last one is Tommy the Hitman Hearns. Those were the four like kings of 80s boxing, because heavyweight was kind of bullshit until Tyson. Like, no offense to Larry Holmes, but nobody really cared about heavyweight
Larry Holmes, if you're listening, sorry, man. It's not a. Well, that's what I've been telling you for a long time, which is good with this Anthony Joshua stuff. And that people only give a shit about boxing, not only, but like it has to be heavyweights. There needs to be knockouts. That's why Floyd Mayweather was big and all these guys are big, but it's like, if there's not somebody kind of running the risk of getting knocked out, it's kind of hard to sell to.
Well, there are not, welterweight and up, there are knockouts. Welterweights dude, you're saying Manny fucking Pacquiao doesn't hit hard? Manny Pacquiao could.
I'm just saying, like, especially with like Floyd Mayweather fights never really ended in knockout, except for that time whenever he tricked that guy into. That was awesome. Whenever he tricked what's his face into bumping gloves with him and then getting fucking socked.
Oh, yeah, I forget who that was, but you got to watch Mayweather Arturo Gatti. I mean, Mayweather hurt his shoulder, and then after that, his fights became all defense. But before that, he used to slug it out in his early 20s. But no, I understand what you're saying, and I'm very excited that the boxing world is going to have its first undisputed heavyweight champion of the world since 1999. Lennox Lewis was the last unified, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. We've suffered through the Klitschko brothers, the most boring heavyweights in the history of heavyweight boxing. They were both great, Vladimir and whatever his dumb brother's name was, but they were fucking boring. They didn't sell tickets. Nobody wanted to watch them. So now we got rid of them. We've had to suffer through fucking the Paul brothers. We've had to suffer through 95-year-old Mike Tyson fighting, the shit Conor McGregor boxing. These are the high ticket sales in boxing. All this garbage fucking circus freak sideshow nonsense. And now we finally have something that the casual fan can get excited about, that also the nerd fan can get excited about. This is a heavyweight championship fight that people, and let me tell you something, it's a 2-fight deal. And if Tyson Fury wins this, or if Anthony Joshua wins this, and whoever wins the second fight is going to be champion for a long time, because the competition in the heavyweight division is ass right now. These are the only two who you would want to see fight. Andy Ruiz he's too small. They got all those Russians. Andy Ruiz, yeah.
He lost a lot of weight, but he's too small.
Dude, put him in. I know he beat Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua was not paying attention to him, but you put him in a ring with a focused 6'9" Tyson Fury or 6'6" Anthony Joshua, it ain't gonna work. All those Dillian White, he's trash. I like him. I think he's one of my favorite. He's boxing next week, and I'm very excited. It's a rematch between him and Alexander Povetkin. Remember that knockout? I sent it to you. That's the one where Dillian White was beating his ass, and then he got lazy, and Povetkin landed an upright and an uppercut and looked like he killed him. But everybody in box, Deontay Wilder's done. He can't box. He's been exposed. Luis Ortiz is 9,000 years old. Joseph Parker, he's another top one, but he's indicted in potentially maybe some part of a methamphetamine ring out of New Zealand. So he's got to deal with that. He's also not that great. This is going to be.
He's not that great at boxing or trafficking methamphetamine, it seems.
Yeah, dude. Apparently I don't know. I think he was like just cleaning money for people. He was like willing to exchange the New Zealand money into US dollars. And basically, I guess people were saying that the drug dealers were like, look, nobody's going to second guess this guy because he's a boxer. He's rich. So he can clean our money.
Who wouldn't be willing to just exchange some dough?
I don't understand why. Like, it's weird. It would be like if you were like selling out Madison Square Garden as a comedian. Imagine like, who's the most famous comedian right now? Probably like, imagine Kevin Hart, like picking up moving jobs on the weekends. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, it's potatoes. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But
I don't understand.
The point is there's a heavyweight championship fight. That's going to be the biggest one since Lewis Tyson. And that Lewis Tyson fight was okay. Lewis whooped the shit out of him. This is probably, though, honestly, this is probably the best heavyweight championship fight since maybe I got to think. But, dude, heavyweight's been bad for so long. Remember when George Foreman? George Foreman should not have been heavyweight champion in 1994, even when he beat Michael Moore. Lennox Lewis, he never really had anybody that was like crazy scary. He beat like a Tyson who didn't give a shit about boxing anymore. Tyson didn't really have. Tyson Holyfield it's probably Tyson Holyfield. That's probably it's probably the biggest heavyweight fight since Tyson Holyfield. I think everybody.
That's the story of Tyson Holyfield, dude. That's where I got my first kiss, dude.
I mean, listen, I could sit here and try to convince you why Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez is going to be an insane fight, and that's coming up in May, or why Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo Alvarez might be a pretty good fight.
Oh, I'm sold. I like Canelo. I'm sold on Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders.
Right, but the casual fan just isn't going to get into it like that when they see these giants. It's the only thing that's holding them back is that I wonder if them both being British and the fight being in England is going to affect American interest at all, because Americans are pretty up their own ass with that stuff. And it'd also be very interesting to see who England rallies behind, because they both come from traditionally populations that England treats like shit. You know, you got like the Irish traveler gypsy, and then you got a black Nigerian. I think his family's from Nigeria. I know he has like Africa tattooed on his chest, like the continent. Anthony
Not
Joshua.
just the words.
Huh?
Not just the word.
Doesn't Izzy have something? Israel Adesanya have something like African native or something tattooed on his chest?
I'm not sure. I can find out. Yeah, I mean, I
think it says broken native.
I'm hoping that, because we were texting a little bit about boxing being on the come up and hockey being on the come up, because it just hockey. Well, they just signed a new thing to like bring hockey back to ESPN for the first time in like 20 years. So it's like, I imagine hockey's going to start doing a little bit better, and it's boxing. I would like to see it do a lot better. It's just, there's so much bullshit like we've both talked about. And I think that with this heavyweights being the more, whatever,
right,
more popular thing, I think that's,
Well, yeah, I mean, boxing. I mean, by the way, with that Juan Estrada Chocolatito fight I was talking about earlier, there was bullshit with that one too. One of the judges has been suspended because
from the fight already.
Yeah, because he
had been suspended in the past, or he's been suspended now?
He was suspended for his score of the Estrada Chocolatito fight. He scored at 117, 111. The other two judges had it going 115, 113 either way. Like one had for Estrada, one had for Chocolatito. So, yeah, dude, there's always bullshit with boxing. But listen, I mean, the Jose, I'll get you pumped up in May for the Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor fight. It's going to be unreal. And like, you know what? I was just thinking about British boxing because Marvin Hagler died. Do you know the story about Marvin Hagler winning his welterweight championship?
I do not know. I'm pretty uneducated when it comes to boxing outside of Mike Tyson.
So marvelous Marvin Hagler was he was a spectator friendly boxer. He stood right in front of you and just fucking threw fucking thunder. And he took, and apparently, this is apparently true. I've seen it in several documentaries. It gets into tricky kind of 4chan territory when you start talking about skulls. But allegedly, marvelous Marvin Hagler had a temporal, or like over his temple, he had everybody has muscles there, but his muscles were like an inch thick or something, which doctors described as having almost like a helmet on. And allegedly Thomas Hearns just broke his hand right on his temple. And and this is shit I've seen on ESPN, and I've heard like Rogan talk about. It's not just like, it's not on like
weird eugenics.
Yeah. No, phrenology. Yeah. Weird phrenology subreddits. Or I'm not, listen, I'm not sticking my flashlight in those corners. This is mainstream information that I'm saying here. There's overwhelming evidence. I'm like Mike Lindell now. There's overwhelming evidence that his skull was a little bit thicker than the average man's.
And then his knee, there's an extra joint.
But he got screwed forever. They would not give him a title fight. He finally gets one in Vegas, Caesar Palace. He gets screwed by the judges because he was so far ahead in the cards. He started doing a kind of more of a defensive tactic for the last half of the fight. And he allowed himself to get screwed technically. I mean, he won that fight, but if he had continued on the offense, the judges could have never done that to him. So next time he gets a chance, this is why he changed his name to Marvelous. The guy got screwed from the day he was born. Like nobody ever gave a shit about him. So he finally gets a title fight. No
respect at all.
And he's got to fight a white guy in England. And the white guy in England named Alan Minter, who is the champion, says no black man has ever taken my title. Now, he claims later on that his management forced him to say that to sell tickets. But what he did was he basically packed an arena out with soccer hooligans. And they're booing and yelling racial slurs at Marvin Hagler. And Hagler just destroys this guy in 3 rounds. So what happens is
style.
They start like coming in. They're beating each other up. And then Mentor does this, like, bring it, come on. And when he does that, Marvin's like, okay. And he just whoops the ever-loving dog shit out of this guy. So that now he can't even stay in to get his arm raised because all the hooligans are throwing bottles. They're booing. They're turned into a riot. The crowd, they had to smuggle Hagler out of there. And they were saying that always was stuck up his ass, was that the first time he finally got his title, he couldn't even have his hand raised in the ring. So that like put a chip on his shoulder. And that's why he ended up having one of the longest runs as a middleweight champion in the history. I think it was beat by Bernard Hopkins, but I think he was like second to Bernard Hopkins. But Bernard Hopkins fought in a trash era. Hagler was beating fucking legends. He was the
British suck, dude.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm really excited to see like you know Tyson Fury is light skinned, but he's an Irish traveler, so that those racists still treat him like shit. So they can't sell this as like Great White Hope type shit. Because Tyson was real careful with that during Deontay Wilder, because like people were getting behind him and he refused to talk about that. He was like, this is just about two boxers. But I'll be interested to see how they promote this fight. I wonder who England's going to be rooting for. I know I'll be rooting for Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is like one of my all-time favorite boxers.
I imagine that they're going to be rooting for Tyson Fury for different reasons than you. I imagine they're gonna enlist the soccer hooligans to come in and do a little bit of rooting, if you will.
Yeah, it's so funny because on Friday, Tyson Fury's been trolling Joshua so hard because he's like, I'm done training. I've burnt out. He's scared of me. I can't get the contracts. I've packed up my gym. I'm done training. He goes, all I'm training now is I'm trying to get 10 pints up to 12. And then they go, well, what if Joshua signs a contract? He goes, it's fine. I could have 13 pints and still give Joshua more than he could handle. And he's just talking, and he's wearing like badass suits, and he's got this long goatee. He looks super dope right now. He looks like a pirate. I'm pretty stoked about him. But last thing I'll say about Marvelous Marvin Hagler is I would encourage everybody to Google Marvin Hagler Italian films and watch the trailers, because he quit boxing and became an Italian movie star. And he did like action movies with Brian Dennehy. You know who he is from Rambo. He played Big Tom Callahan and Tommy Boy. Yeah. So they did like Rambo knockoff movies in Italy. I imagine Dennehy had a divorce or something. And they are, dude, Marvin Hagler, one of the greatest boxers to ever live. Acting, not so great.
They came like an invading army and destroyed in the name of progress. One man stood in their way, a half-breed United States Marine.
Now listen to me, Campos. I want him caught in the next 24 hours.
Never say die. He was called Indio.
What a dream career, dude. Like you're Steven Seagal. You're like, whatever, fuck America. I'll go over and make awful movies in another country.
Dude, for sure. Isn't that what Clint Eastwood did?
I'm not sure. Did he?
I think all those spaghetti westerns that he made were all filmed in Italy. Like I think, and they just accidentally were great.
Oh yeah, well, that's kind of a little bit what the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's kind of loosely based around, isn't it?
Yeah, he definitely goes to Italy.
Burt Reynolds.
Did Burt Reynolds go over there?
I don't know, but I know that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the relationship between Brad Pitt and Leo is kind of based on Burt Reynolds and his stuntman.
Burt Reynolds was a badass fullback at Florida State before he blew out his knee. He was like, I think he was All-American.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood bums me out, dude. Old Clint Eastwood's cool, but they keep just coming out with these Clint Eastwood movies, and it's like he's obviously mentally deficient.
Yeah,
like American Sniper, where they have the fake baby, and it's like.
Dude, did you see the fucking Olympic bombing one with Richard Jewell?
Is that a Clint Eastwood movie?
Yes.
I didn't see it, but I did want to.
He's just golden-hearted disabled boy.
Jewell is very interesting, but
but they really made him play up the big white sneakers, if you get what I'm saying.
They really did. Yeah. They're like, we can make his monarchs bigger. We have the technology. We need bigger shoes.
Yeah, what's the opposite of pigeon-toed, where you walking out like
yeah, that's so funny, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
I
don't
got
know.
pretty, I got pretty big white sneakery today about the Iditarod race, dude.
Dude, fill me in because I was real amped for the Iditarod trail, and then life happened, and I haven't been able to check in with it, which is not normally. I'm up there. Normally, I'm up in the finish line with one of those furry hoods.
Yeah, normally you go all the way out to Nome, and you kind of
yeah.
Alaska. Well,
I have a
Dallas
following up
CV
there, very popular. I do stand up in Nome every year.
Yeah, you do it for all the Iditarod guys. There's just
I got a
dogs
corporate
barking
up in
background.
Alaska. I gotta go do. I'm doing stand up for all their dogs.
Yeah. Every year I go out. Every shitty comic has like a shoe-in gig that they do every year. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where it's like every year I go out to Nome, Alaska. I get to do the lodge after the Iditarod race where all the guys are asleep.
Dude, if it wasn't for the
really
world's
just
strongest man warm-up gig, my kids wouldn't even be in school right now.
Yeah, every that's the second dream of somebody, one of these shitty comics who sits around and like talk to open micers like they're really fucking like they're trying to like give them knowledge about like, oh god, like that guy,
I
like
juggle for
Richard
Coca-Cola
Schassler.
every year.
So Dallas CV won, and he tied for the most wins. The race is over. It finished today. So Dallas CV won. He won his fifth one. He's 34 years old.
His father is competing as well. His father wins a lot.
His father is Mitch CV, won 2004, 2013, 2017. So he won 3 times. And then his grandfather also won. Well, so I don't know if his grandfather actually won, but his grandfather like competed in like the first one. His grandfather's like an OG. A lot of these guys are like a dog sledding family.
Right. The Iditarod Trail is like that race is relatively new. I think it started in the late 70s. I don't think it's.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like a centuries old thing. Yeah, it's 1973, I believe it started.
Right.
Dude,
but
apparently, dude whooped ass this year. But apparently in 2014, he only won by like 2 minutes.
Damn, that must have been so exciting to see them come in.
Dude, I got to send you this video with, Dallas CV won.
Actually, that's still not that exciting from a spectator point of view, where like, I mean, if you watch a guy go across the finish line, you got to wait 2 minutes for the next guy to come across the finish line. It's not like you're like edge of your seat.
Oh, hey, that was close. You're sitting at the finish line. You're 2 minutes. You're like, holy.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! I didn't even finish a beer before the next guy came in.
Yeah, so Dallas CV's like the guy right now. He's like the bad motherfucker, the whole thing. So the fifth win is the tie for the most of the thing. So I was reading something else because Mitch CV publicly announced he didn't race this year. He sat out. But his best dogs raced with his son. So I think the Dallas CV kind of got hooked up by his dad and got to
they both run their own kennels. I've watched a National Geographic show on the CV family, and they talk a lot of shit to each other. The son is like a real foul-mouthed hotshot, and he's a fan.
His son's pretty cool. Dallas CV, he's got a YouTube channel with a shockingly small following, but he kind of breaks down a lot of
You mean there isn't a huge mushing community on YouTube?
You'd be shocked, dude. These mushing guys they don't make that much money. And
I'm not shocked at all. I'm not going to lie.
I don't imagine they get a ton of pussy either. I was thinking about that. I don't imagine that the dog mushing groupies are much to shake a stick at, or really, I don't think there's like hot babes out there like, ooh, Dallas.
Dude, but that would be a great movie to make. It's a Dane Cook comeback vehicle. Okay.
Dude, well, Lance Mackey that I did a little bit of deep dive on. He would be a good one. That's the guy I sent you with that looks like most of my uncle's friends.
But I was going to tell you though, the way Dallas and Mitch CV make their money is actually off of their kennels. They like
raise dogs for other people.
Yeah. And they're like the best at it.
Yeah. It's a real interesting thing. Cause I mean, obviously you got your PETA freaks that are like, this is animal abuse. And this is,
how is that animal abuse? I don't understand. They treat those dogs.
You're making a dog run 100 miles a day. That's not awesome in some people's eyes. But then if you think about it, which if you know anything about dog training, which you do, is that dogs love to work and they want a task, and like the dogs love this shit. You know what I'm saying?
There's nothing a dog loves more than a reason to sleep, because most dogs are sleeping because they have nothing else to do. Those are the few dogs on earth that get to sleep because they're legit tired. Yeah. No, those are probably the most mentally sound dogs ever. Because if they don't want to do it, if they don't perform, I'm sure, because too much at stake, they're going to get rid of those dogs and give them to a family or whatever. Or maybe
Yeah, these
not
dogs
to
don't want to be with
preach.
a family. They want to go out and fucking rock, dude.
Yeah, dude. They're fucking lay off, PETA.
Yeah, I mean, here Dallas Seavey's only got 4,300 followers on Twitter, that's good. But I mean, if you're thinking as like the peak athlete of this sport, it's
Yeah, he's the fan favorite. He was banned because his dogs tested positive, which I was laughing at the idea
his
of
dog's pissed hot for what?
some kind of performance enhancing drug.
Wow.
His name was cleared though. It was not his fault. But after Dallas Seavey's dogs pissed hot, which how do you get a dog to piss into a cup?
Yeah,
they
that's
must
interesting.
They must test the shit, I would imagine.
Or the blood, or they gotta maybe the dogs. You know, at a mall where you that thing where you drop in the coin and it goes like this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's like a room that's
A giant funnel.
a giant funnel where it kind of all just goes down in the middle, and they gotta wash
Some
it.
dude like
constantly.
Chris Farley looks like Chris Farley is drinking it at the bottom, and
Yeah,
everybody's
just
screaming,
like,
"Chug, chug!"
Just some dude laying under there who pays the guy $25 to take a lap outside so he could. Hey, how about you take a lap and so I can lay underneath the spout? Yeah. The Spouthounds, dude. They don't have groupies, but they got to keep out a lookout for the fucking Spouthounds out here, dude.
Hey, is that dog about to piss?
Yes, Anthony Decimino. Hey, I didn't know if maybe you wanted to make $25. Dude, so Iditarod it's interesting stuff. I really was getting into this shit today. That's why I told you I fucking couldn't retain any knowledge today when I was trying to fucking do some shit. But all I could fucking think about was the Iditarod. So,
Yeah, dude, it's cool. I mean, I've always wanted to do it. Maybe I'll do it next year.
The Iditarod itself, or just dog mushing it?
Yeah, no, I'll start mushing next year, and I'll aim for the year after that to actually get into the. I can't
take
imagine
over
it's
the
that hard
sport
to qualify.
completely.
Just got to
Yeah,
get 12 dogs, right?
Yeah,
I have pit
think so.
bulls.
Yeah, I think me and you could muster up 12 dogs between us.
That'd be dope to do it with chihuahuas, dude.
Yeah, to do it like with like like 250 chihuahuas rather than like eight big dogs. I wonder what the legality is behind that. Whether you like find like it's like an Air Bud situation where like there's nothing in the rule book that says you can't mush with 200 chihuahuas.
Well, it is by weight, and they are under the weight.
Dude, I mean, this is off topic, but I was watching. I fucking did nothing today, but I was watching this Inside Edition thing about like whether or not your dogs would defend you if somebody broke into your house, and so they were like running these simulations with a dude breaking into your house and like grabbing you, and it was like 3 or 4 big dogs, like pit bull mixes and like golden retrievers and shit, that totally fucking pieced out. And then they did one with 2 chihuahuas, and the 2 chihuahuas went fucking ape shit on the dude and just fucking.
Any one of my neighbors could tell you that.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it was very funny. I mean, my dog loves me and he bites the shit out of me every day.
How did you determine that he loves you?
Yeah, I guess it's a good question. I'm like a woman who's like, no, he loves me. It doesn't matter that he fucking KOs me every night.
He gnaws on my cock like a chew toy.
Yeah.
What's going on with the trail? Get back into it.
All right, I'm sorry. I was just thinking about something very funny about teaching your dog to not bite your dick. You got to show him your dick and be like, no, that's not for you. So okay, so Lance Mackey is like, he won 4-time winner of the Yukon Quest, and he won the Yukon Quest is another dog race that apparently is like right below the Iditarod. So the Iditarod, he won 4 times in a row, which had never been done before. So 2007, Mackey became the first person to win the Yukon Quest and the Iditarod in the same year, which was considered impossible by many, and is definitely considered like the most impressive feat by a dog musher ever.
Why is that? I mean, there must be something I don't know, but it seems like if you can win one, you can win the other.
Yeah, I think the thing is that getting your dogs to do 2,000-mile plus races in the same year is fucking hardcore. Where it's like not a big deal to win one. It's like not a big deal to win.
Oh, he doesn't switch out the dogs?
No, I don't think so. I think it was same dogs.
Damn.
Yeah. See, now we're getting into PETA territory where we're like, okay. So this is like a whole thing too, where it's like a whole family. His father, Dick Mackey, great name, one of the founders of the Iditarod Slail race, and
Father owes him money.
Oh, dude, yes. Yeah, so this is good shit because he won the event by 1 second.
Damn.
Over Rick Swenson in 1978. See, that's what we're looking for is like that dog photo finish.
Yeah, like
I was trying to figure that out today, whether it was like a marathon where it's like a staggered start, but it's not. They
right.
Go.
Right at once. Yeah, yeah. So that's like a dog tongue though. 1 second. That's like,
yeah.
Damn.
That's a good dog. That one, dude. He fucking. Like,
I wonder if you teach him to stick out the tongue, like that must help, right?
Yeah, something. His half brother Rick Mackey also won the Iditarod sled dog race in 1983.
Half brother, scandalous.
Yeah, he's a pretty scandalous dude. I won't go too deep into all of it, but there's a pretty good Graham Bensinger interview with him. He's kind of a tortured soul a little bit. So Lance Mackey swears by giving his dog CBD. Goes through $100 worth of dog CBD tincture in a day on the trail.
And has he won since that happened? Since he started swearing by it?
Oh yeah, dude. He kills it. He's a cancer survivor. Also admitted to using marijuana on the trail during his championship reign from 2007 to 2011, where he won it 4 times in a row. And then before the 2010 race, Iditarod added marijuana to its list of banned substances from mushers, a move Mackey said at the time was pushed by racers who were jealous of his success. Still, even without blowing mad fucking gas, he went out and won his 4th straight Iditarod in 2010.
Who the fuck cares if he's smoking weed?
Yeah. Well,
I like that it wasn't on there before. There's such a libertarian state up there.
Yeah. But also it's like, dude, if you're out there on the thing fucking blowing trees, dude, who cares?
That's got to be the greatest thing in the world. You're so high up on the globe that you can actually see the arc of the earth. You know what I mean? The arc of the circle. And there's just snow for miles. And you got these fucking 12. You must be blown away watching 12 dogs run simultaneously while you're just high out of your mind on this sled in the middle of nowhere.
This is where it does get a little bit scandalous is he had some problem with drugs and alcohol and then was clean. And then in 2020, he got DQ'd from the race in 2020 because he pissed hot for meth mid-race.
Meth?
Which that's a performance-enhancing drug in a long race like this where you got to stay up for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, meth is performance-enhancing for sure.
And a dog racing thing for sure. So there was the interview I was watching where he said he would drink a bottle of whiskey on most days, and with cocaine, he could drink a lot more.
Right. So cocaine was a drinking enhancing.
Yeah, it was a DED. And then he said the interview with Graham Bensinger or whatever. Do you know Graham Bensinger? I want to fucking sock bet Graham. I hate Graham Bensinger, man.
Yeah, he reminds me of Dave Rubin or something.
Yeah, he really bums me out.
Graham
Bensinger said in the interview, he's like, I read you were earning $100,000 a year, but blowing it all on drugs, alcohol, and prostitutes. And Lance replied and said, that's pretty accurate. And then he said that Lance and his wife, I mean, the interview goes pretty south. They are homeless and they got kids and whatever else. But at the point they were using their 9-year-old daughter as a designated driver.
Like on a dog sled?
No, in a car.
Oh, but it's up there.
Yeah, that's what my thought was too. Is like they're up in Fairbanks and shit. Like,
she's gonna run to a snowbank. Like, listen, if you're a father of a 9-year-old daughter, you shouldn't really be doing meth and whiskey, and all that shit. But I mean, hey, if she can reach the pedals, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a lot that could go wrong up there. It's not like she's driving on the 101 in LA.
Yeah, which maybe she was also. Maybe they were taking her all around the world. But Lance Mackey, I mean, he's a rough and tumble looking dude, but he was out there.
Has he got it back together now?
Yeah, I mean, he has a kennel, kind of same thing. Kennel doesn't look too sharp, but there's 65 dogs at the end of the day. I'm not sure
how you're stretching really hard to put a nice ribbon on this, and then he's got a kennel.
Not looking too good. No, well, that's what I've had that happen on this podcast specifically at least like 10 times, where I start putting together one of these little deep dives, and then it turns out to be such a bummer that I don't end up doing it, like the Pillsbury Throwboy one. And there's been a few other ones like that just end up bumming me out. And so I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to
Well, listen, his story is not over. His journey is not over. The Iditarod will be back to its 1,000+ course next year. And every year is a new chance for Lance Mackey to get it together. And here at Fat Jocks, we support you, Lance.
Yeah, me too. I'm not sure if I'm trying to find out if. So there's a Mackey in the 22. His nephew was in the 2021 race. But
they all know each other. That's like just a tiny world.
Oh, sorry. It was his niece. His niece was the one who was in the race.
Was she also the designated driver?
Brenda Mackey. Brenda Mackey sounds like a chick who will kick the shit out of you, dude. Yeah, so Lance Mackey, he won $1,000. Dude, dog racing's a little bit dark, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, even if you win first, in the Iditarod, you're only getting about $70,000, which is good.
Yeah, but you got to spend fucking $200,000 on dog food and shit, probably.
Yeah, that dog shit is expensive.
Dude. Yeah, I think them like seal steaks and shit.
Yeah, so they eat chicken skins are a big thing that the dogs eat, and he's a pretty interesting dude. He's like saying that he doesn't like to feed the dogs all the way full. Because even as a person, you don't want to go full all the way down to empty, down to full. He's like putting gas in a car. You fill it up halfway, you're going to go a lot farther. You keep it at half.
Right. That's like a NASCAR thing. You don't want to wait.
Yeah. Yeah. NASCAR, they're always on empty, dude.
Yeah. That's part of the trick there. But, Lance Mackey with his Iditarod tips. Listen, I'm thinking we get a Fat Jock sled. And
let's start putting it together. We can probably get Lance Mackey on the pod.
Yeah, but do we want to?
Yeah, I mean he's gonna have to go down to the library.
I hate to be a dick, but I would like to get one of those CV boys on first.
Yeah, Dallas CV. I mean he's pretty contactable. Maybe we know. Maybe Handren is his cousin. Handren's got like a dog sled racing vibe.
That's true. Let's why don't you do this? We'll do that. You reach out to him after this episode's over. You reach out to Dallas, see if we can pick his brain on dog sled racing, and we'll have him on the pod. And this podcast will blow up dog racing for them. And next thing you know, we're making millionaires.
Yeah, I mean,
we're like
I
money
imagine
production.
Dallas is a little bit inundated. He did just win the race today. I imagine he's at the very least got some local interviews lined up.
Yeah, dude, he's drinking like fucking champagne out of the dog skull trophy they give him or whatever.
Yeah, the dog skull from the year before. Yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up there, folks. Now you guys are all up to date on the behind the scenes of the Iditarod trail.
Dude, the Iditarod kicks ass, dude. I came into it when you were saying the other day about how you were going to get into the Iditarod. I was like, this guy's a fucking idiot. And then literally today, I just laid on the couch and read all about the Iditarod. Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening, folks. Just another insight into the wild and wacky world of sports here on Fat Jocks. Next week, we're going to be back in fucking action. We're going to be tip top. Right now, I got Pfizer rushing through my veins.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is you guys are going to get 2 weeks of tip top, and then we're both going to get our second shots, and you're going to get another kind of weird week, and then it's on. Then we're vaccinated. Yeah. We're doing live pods, live at the fucking Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah, parking lot. While we're waiting in line for the bread line that's coming.
All right, thanks, folks. We love you.
Have a good one.